welcome to the American Songbook Association Sunday Session Series. This series is an ongoing fundraiser for our expanding education programs. The ASA reaches thousands of students across the country teaching jazz, musical theater, and the Great American Songbook in an effort to preserve and promote those timeless American musical legacies. This programming also benefits Cabaret Scenes, the official magazine of the American Songbook Association, devoted to covering live music in the United States and Europe. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of Sunday Sessions and that you'll consider a donation to the American Songbook Association. Every dollar helps us achieve our mission to keep this wonderful music playing. $65 gets you a one-year membership to the ASA and a year's subscription to Cabaret Scenes magazine, as just one benefit of membership. See the banner at the bottom of your screen for details or go to www.americansongbookassociation.org for more information. And now the ASA and Cabaret Scenes are pleased to introduce your host, Carolyn Montgomery.
Hi, and welcome to the 13th episode of Sunday Sessions. I'm thrilled to have you here and even more thrilled to introduce my co-host today, Craig Pomeranz. Hello.
Happy holidays.
Good to see you and happy holidays to you. And this is the ultimate holiday show in that I think so many people, because we are not able to see our loved ones and friends during this holiday time, are looking for meaningful gifts, not necessarily elaborate gifts, but meaningful gifts. And I'm sending out a lot more this holiday season because I want to brighten people's holiday. And sometimes a little something under the tree or just in the mail is fabulous. But this particular gift, a gift of a performance class, really helps, I think, our creative friends connect.
It's a gift of music.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah. Exactly. So today, Craig and I have two amazing people that have in their own way offered in New York City and in LA, although now that it's virtual, you can take either one. You can perform in cities across the country without leaving your living room. Our first guest is an amazing actor and performer in his own right. He's also a multi-award winning director. He is incredibly creative. He's the co-founder of the Retreat at Heron's Landing, a professional singers retreat that has been incredibly popular every year. He is the president of the MAC, the Manhattan Association of Cabarets and Clubs, and he is the CEO, the founder, and the artistic director for Singnasium, which is a relatively new but incredibly popular musical consortium with a very active board. And they are offering all sorts of classes. Used to be not virtual, classes in person, and they will be again. But they're offering a whole host of virtual opportunities in the new year. I'm so pleased to introduce my friend and colleague, Lennie Watts.
Hello.
Hi, Lennie.
Hey, how are you?
Well, I wish I could say that I didn't know how you were, but we went walking just a little while ago with
We did.
dog George, which was really lovely. And did you know New York City is supposed to get a lot of snow on Wednesday?
I hear that. Yeah.
I think we should book another walk.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it, to be honest.
You don't love the snow?
No, I'm not mad about it. No, I love the snow. What I don't love is that it's 60 degrees right now, and my apartment is like 150 degrees because, it's crazy. The weather's crazy. But yes, I'm looking forward to a little snow and a little
People
chill.
are wearing shorts outside. People are wearing shorts. It's just wow.
Yeah.
Well, and when the weather changes this much and it goes from 60 degrees to snow in 48 hours, that's when the colds come in. We don't need colds happening.
Yeah.
I want to jump in because I just was surprised by this, but the very first question people who were interested in Singnasium, they wanted to know if they needed to audition.
No. We offer classes for anybody of any level, of any musical interest. We have people from, we actually have a class called Sing Out Louise that is taught by Jenny Litt, which is for people who just love to sing. They may have never sung before, and they want to sing. They're shower singers. They're, all the way up to master classes with Broadway performers and stuff like that. So no, the only time you have to audition is if there's a second level of a class, and then you either have to have taken the first level. Like, for instance, Gabrielle Stravelli teaches a lot of our jazz classes. And so we have a swing time 1, a swing time 2. Now we have a swing time 3, and we're going to have a swing time 4 because they keep taking them and going further. So to get into the higher level classes, you either need to have taken the previous ones or get instructor approval for that. So that's the only time. Anytime anybody who loves to sing, I'm happy to help them pick the right class for them, so that they feel like they're in the place that they belong. And but yeah.
Okay, I jumped in before Carolyn got to even sort of explain Singnasium, but it was on my mind and I thought I was going to forget it.
Well, that's all right.
Carolyn, do you want to go ahead and explain Singnasium as you see it, or how you want to?
I think you should go to the Singnasium website, which is www.singnasium.org. Their slogan is keeping the arts alive by helping the artist thrive. And that's meeting the artist at any level. So if you go to the website tomorrow, which is the 14th of December, their new classes will be up. And Lennie can tell you a little bit about what they offer. Is the pricing on the website as well?
Everything's on the website. When the classes go up, the prices will be there. Every bit of information you'll need. You just click. It's so easy. You pick the class, you pick the day, you click, you go to your shopping cart, you're done.
Very easy. That's
it's pretty easy. Like I could do it. I could even sign up for a class. If I wasn't teaching it, I would be able to sign up for a class. That's how easy. That's how easy.
You try and meet with people before they enter the class, or you just wait to meet them at the class?
Well, it depends. I mean, in the old days, when we were teaching in a studio, if they were new to us. Oh, that's from the old days.
Yes, I'm taking old days shots.
If someone was new to us, I would meet with them, like at the studio, and have because we don't have our own space. We were teaching out of Sunlight Studios on 44th Street, and we would meet or have a phone conversation or something just to find out. Because I don't want anybody to be in a class that they don't, that is either beyond them or below them or not their interest or whatever. So we try to make sure that all that's taken care of. But we're lucky, knock on whatever this material is, that we have a lot of repeat offenders, that come in. A lot of our people have come to us through word of mouth. We heard about your classes forever, and we want to take this class or that class or something like that. So we try to make sure that everybody's in the right place and doing the right thing and doing what they want, doing the class that they want to do.
Well, and I want all of our students that are watching right now to understand that repeat offenders, as Lennie jokingly said, there are a lot of people that are really quite good that come for regular training and workouts at Singnasium.
Yeah.
You should not feel daunted. You should come. You should talk to them about what class is right for you. The recidivism rate of these classes is amazing. People take it 4 or 5 times, take different classes 4 or 5 times. The more they do it, the more they love it. Yeah. And it's really these people here. I recognize several. I know lots of them work with Lennie regularly. They have gone from taking Lennie's classes to being award winners. One of his teachers right there is Michael Holland, who has arranged for Broadway productions and is absolutely brilliant musician. So the 2 questions I have for you is, one, can you tell us what some of the classes are? And then I'm going to ask you about some of your instructors.
Sure. We do. Our staple classes are I do a class called Sing Your Story, which is a basic song study class. It's how do you bring yourself to your song, and how do you choose material that is right for you. And we don't really do a lot of arranging. We might do that's not the right key for that song, or blah, or hey, we need to put an ending on this song. But it's basically about the acting and the storytelling, and how do you turn a song into something personal. I also, this is a tiny little sidebar, but I also teach at Marymount Manhattan College. And one of the things that we really work on with these kids that had been through this rigorous musical theater training and being stripped of everything that makes them unique, and that's not Marymount, that's that's what they do in musical theater. They want you to be able to fit into many characters. Is finding yourself in these songs, and how do you put yourself into this song, and how do you sing? I've always liked this Madonna song, and it really relates to me, but how can I make this work for me, and stuff like that. So that's kind of what the Sing Your Story class is about. And the other really popular class is the one that Michael Holland and I are doing, called the Arrangement Experience. Carolyn actually did it once for the holidays a few years ago.
Yeah, I remember. It was wonderful.
And the cool thing about what we're doing now is, I don't know if you've seen, but if you go to our YouTube page, is Singnasium on Stage. And some of the videos, so from the Arrangement Experience, because we're not in a room together, Michael, we do the arrangement, and then Michael adds a symphony.
Yeah,
people are doing so people are doing these songs with a string quartet and with horns and with a big band and with a, you know, all this amazing stuff and backup singing, and then they create music videos.
Yeah,
these songs. There's 3 or 4 great ones that are up on our page. Helene Bloomfield did a beautiful one that looks like a Spielberg film. I mean, it's just beautiful. And these are opportunities that people wouldn't have if we were just doing these classes in studios. But so
that's called Singnasium on Stage, is what you said?
Yeah, our YouTube page is called Singnasium on Stage.
Excellent.
And so those are 2 classes. We have Gabrielle Stravelli that I mentioned, and we've added Michael Kanan, who was he was our piano player for her jazz class. And then he actually now teaches a class, and people love him, love working with him. And that's kind of our jazz stuff, which we're trying to beef up a little bit too. We had Michael.
How many people do you have on staff? How many?
You know, it varies from semester to semester, but we have probably 10 or 12, maybe up to 15 teachers. Like, we're getting ready to release, like, I believe it's like 15 or 16 new classes.
Right. You've got Julie Gold, and wait, I have one right here. Now I was just showing photos. Here's Kim Grog, who's on your board, who's just wonderful. It looks to me like it's a jazz class because I see Pat on the
board. It was Gabrielle Stravelli's jazz boot camp.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Last summer. Yeah. And that's one too. Yeah, that's Laurel Lockhart. She did participated in the boot camp.
And then the pandemic hits, and I do want to ask you what the pandemic, I mean, you're already telling me what the pandemic brought to you, if there's a glass half full scenario, but I also want to know what it curtailed for you, if you lost anything in the thing. But here we are, all of a sudden translated to the virtual class. Yeah. And I've got one right here with Julie Gold, obviously doing a songwriting.
Yeah, she does a class called Right. Which she titled herself. If you know Julie, that's like such a Julie Gold title.
Right.
Yeah, she teaches us it's a lyric writing class. Ultimately, they don't really do she'll do melody exercises and stuff, but it's mostly about exploring lyrics. We have Karen Mason is teaching a class, which I'm thrilled. What has been great for us is that once this started, I had to make a decision in March. I had to go, do I curl up in a corner and wait for this to end, or do we figure this out? And I am not the most, I love a gadget, but I'm not the most tech, that wasn't my go-to. So, but I had to make it work. And so we started doing classes, and we were in the middle of a semester when this all went down. So we transferred some classes to the thing, and we started to do it. And then we added more classes over the summer, more classes over the fall. And now we're doing, so it's brought to us. And so I remember when I called Karen Mason, I said, I'd love for you to do a 6-week class. And now I know you're a sitting duck. I said, you people are sitting ducks now.
Right.
So I know you're not going to get a gig that's going to take you away. I know that you're not going to, so I would love for you to do more than just like a 1-day workshop.
Yeah.
So we had, her and Julie Gold. Of course, Julie's taught for us before, and Karen has done like workshops, but she's never done like a 6-week class. Barb Younger is now teaching from England.
Right. Yeah.
We would never be able to have. Michael Kilgore, who's terrific, was teaching a class, and he had a student from Tasmania.
Oh, that's wow.
So yeah, who had to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
To take a class.
The tech thing has been a real challenge. And I had the same thing. I mean, at one point we were doing an open mic Zoom. We did a What Good Is Sitting Alone in Your Zoom, and we had open mics from London. We had Harold Sanditon. We had all these different people on, and all of a sudden I'm running the board and my screen went black, and Craig couldn't see it. Nobody could see it. And I was like, would you please fill for me while I try to figure out? I guess we've all gotten sort of a tolerance for that. We know that it's going to happen, but everybody's gotten better. I mean, Karen Mason, and she would agree with me. I know she's on watching, which she might be. Hi, Karen. she got better in her own little living room concerts. You
Yeah.
know, we all just sort of are settling into this and
Yeah.
dealing with it.
Yeah, well, we do an open mic. We do a monthly open mic called Singapalooza.
Right.
And I had commented at our last open mic how amazing it has been to watch everybody from the first open mic to this last open mic, how they progressed in their technical proficiency.
Right.
You know, the microphones and the lighting and figuring, and we do all of our classes with tracks. So people either use.
You don't do any trying to do it with a live piano at all?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that right now. I feel like it causes more trouble than it's more work than it's worth at this point for us, because we have so many people taking classes, and for everybody to have the interface and for everybody to have to do all that is a lot. So, go ahead.
I want to tell people out there, I'm going to interrupt you, but I want to tell people who are out there who are watching is that all of us who are performers who are not doing anything now, this kind of organization is not about, I don't need this because I'm a professional. If anything else, it gives you the opportunity to continue to do what you do. And you always learn something by putting yourself out there, especially with this new technology. So it's just such a wonderful opportunity to just sort of expose yourself to the world.
Listen, at these open mics, we have people from all over the country singing, and now they've made friends. We have this woman who I adore named Jessica Rucker from Florida. She's a nurse. She works in the COVID units in Florida, and then she comes in and sings, and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy that I have this." And now she's joined MAC, and she's met friends all over the country. So it's really cool. Oh, I do want to correct. I am no longer the president of MAC.
That's right. I actually did know that. You worked for a very, very long time, and I even considered whether I would mention it just because you've done so many other things, and I didn't, but that to me would be the elephant in the room if I didn't say, and also.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, it's good. Listen, I was the MAC president for 11 years and the vice president for 3 years before that. I am now
president emeritus.
Well, I'm president emeritus, and I'm also a special advisor because I didn't want to leave the organization totally. I love the organization and I love everybody involved, and I did want to be involved. I just with Singnasium, I mean, something had to go. Yeah. At this point, so I felt like, I'm very much involved. Yeah, I'm still involved. Right, I'm still involved with MAC, and I will support it and be a part of it for as long as I can. But I'm
you're already so recognizable with MAC. People are not going to just let you go so easily. So.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a long time. Yeah, whenever you're anywhere for that long of a time, Yeah. But the open mics have been great, and but watching people progress with all of their knowledge and figuring out how to do it. And it's really been really great to watch. And it's also been so helpful. Like I get emails and texts and all the time about, thank you so much for keeping this going during this time. Yeah. And our Singnasium family has started these little Zoom family groups that they do with each other. Like, the ladies, I call them the Wednesday Jewish ladies auxiliary, who take the class. They have started their own thing that they meet once a week and have, community. And there's another group that has their community, and they have all this stuff. So we're really building a community, even though we don't have the brick and mortar place.
It's an extraordinary opportunity to be so visible all over the world. And that may sound like overreaching, but it really isn't. I mean, I've been to open mics where people are dialing in from Mexico. That's right. It's just, and part of what we do at the ASA to sort of promote performance, live performance, and promote and teach about the educating about the American Songbook. Music is so powerful, which is why we do it. And it's just, I think it's more important now than ever in this time where we're all so sheltered and need some place to go. So, yeah.
And I will tell you, I think some people have done better work than they've ever done in this medium because they're, first of all, I can see, you can really get into people, during these classes, number one, because they're so close and it's so intimate. You would think it's not because there's a screen in between, but the face is right there and you can really work on like acting and stuff. And they're not intimidated. They're not in a big room with big fluorescent lights. They don't feel compelled to perform because there's not 8 other people sitting there watching them. They're not, so they're sitting in their living room, just telling a story like they would if they were, everybody always used to say in the real classes, oh, when I did this at home, it was so good at home. It was so good. Now they're having the opportunity to be so good at home and so good in the class.
And in the shower.
That's a really interesting observation. And I cannot stress enough to singers out there that are sort of on the fence about doing something like this. I can't tell you how many people said to me, I am not going to sing a song standing in my living room in an evening dress, singing to my 2 terriers. Oh, that was me that said that. And then, yeah, that's what exactly what
that sounds familiar.
However, I have a little job now where I sing every week and I sight read and then record it on a cappella, and it is my lifeline. Yeah. After doing it, a friend of mine said, oh, thanks, you saved my life for doing this. And I said, can you send me another? He was like, absolutely. Now he sends me 2 a week, and I'm starting to sing in other places. I'll be singing on the 20th. I sang with the Denver Gay Men's Chorus, all on Zoom.
Yeah.
But I feel uplifted. I miss singing, you know, so do it. Take a class.
And I understand that there's nothing like an audience, which is, we all know is true.
Yeah.
But you know something, when we did a Zoom with Keri Kelsey, who's coming up later, on her open mic, where instead of me singing by myself, I made everyone else sing the chorus with me. And I have to tell you, that interaction of everybody joining in, you still get that same feeling. And it's a powerful thing, and you should do it. You should just do it. Do it.
Absolutely.
And if you have a friend,
but once you do it, it's all good. And what I do in my classes and also at the open mic is I encourage people to use the chat feature.
Right.
You know, I don't let them critique or do anything like that. But it's like, if you notice somebody's doing a great job, or if you like this song, or if you think of something, hit the chat. You know, and then when we don't have the applause thing.
Right.
Just to let people know that they're not just singing into some vacuum, that they're actually reaching other people. So it's cool with the chat, because you just see, you see the chat going when people are singing, and then at the end you always see the person come back, oh my God, thank you so much. But they're still having this great interaction,
Right.
That's how you meet people. You meet people.
Yeah. I want to ask you about this. Tell me about the kids that you're working with at Singnasium.
Well, this was a group of young ladies from Brooklyn Jesuit Prep. We started doing an outreach. Sadly, we're not doing it right now, for obvious reasons. But we did. Michael Holland and I went out to Crown Heights, Brooklyn. We spent more time on the train than we did with the after-school program. Yeah. But we went twice a week for 3 months, and we spent about an hour and a half with these 5 girls, and they were terrific, and none of them knew what they were getting into. This was not a performing arts school. These are not theater girls. These are just girls who like, oh, I might like to sing, And so we started to do what I went out there with the intention of doing like a senior story class with them. And it turned out that we ended up turning it into a songwriting situation. And each one of them wrote a song, a personal song about their life and their story. I would sit with them and we would go do lyrics. And then they would take their music over to the keyboard to Michael. And he would say, do you have an idea of how you might want this to go? And blah, blah, blah. They would write a song. And then they all performed theirs. And one of them had a father who was murdered, and she put this in about the day she found out about. It was an amazing song. And then one song just wrote about one girl wrote about riding her bicycle. So it was this whole thing. And then Michael gave them sheets. He printed out their song, written by, blah, 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 with their name on each thing. And then when we did our live fundraiser last year, they all sang at the fundraiser, and it was a huge highlight. So we're just chomping at the bit to get back in. Brooklyn Jesuit Prep is a great school, and we really had a great time. And we were just getting ready to start again. We had girls, and a lot of these girls, I just got an email saying these girls want to know if they can do this again, because they don't usually let them do, you do one project and then you do another, you can't repeat. And I said, sure, if they want to do it. And so we were going to have.
They can't afford it, probably.
Yeah.
Right? There's no money for it. There's no funding for it, probably.
For them to do it.
For the girls to do it again, right?
Oh, well, they have it after. They have these different slots, like you can either do baseball or softball or singing, geography exploration or something, and then they sign up for them. And the first one, like the first time, it was like our class was none of their first choice. You know, they were just like, they got stuck in there, and then they ended up loving it, you know, because they didn't know what they were getting into. I know if I were their age, I'd be like, I don't know, I don't want to go in and sing. And I made them all sing in the first week, and they made us, you know, we had to turn away from them. They couldn't get through a song without giggling. They all had to sing Brown Skin Girl. The only song they knew was Brown Skin Girl, and they were like, they all sang that, and we couldn't look at them. And then by the end, they're standing on the stage at Laurie Beachman singing an original tune that they wrote.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, you know, it's interesting because Carolyn's classes for the ASA, it's like it breaks your heart to see these kids who've never heard classic standard American tunes, right? And then when they listen to them and learn them and sing them, even if they don't have the tune, can't really sing it, it's just they love it so much. I mean, Carolyn can tell you more that it's just as I said earlier, you know, there was this little Latin boy singing Moon River, and it was just your heart just broke because it was just so adorable, because you never heard that kind of music. Yeah. And it's like it only moves forward to the music now. And the Great American Songbook does go all the way to Bruce Springsteen and other people. But it's interesting to introduce these kids to these things because
absolutely, they love it. Yeah.
Good for you. So if you would like to take a class at Singnasium, go to www.singnasium.org, and it is Singnasium, like a sing gymnasium. So Singnasium, just like that. If you want to take a look at it.
Yes, I wanted to do the nasium thing because I thought it was the closest thing to a gymnasium that I was ever going to get. So I'm like, let's make this sound like it's athletic in some way.
And it's better than Sing Muscle Beach. Right.
And also, you know, our second, it's you know, Keeping the Arts Alive is our first one, but our second one is All Singing, No Drama. And that is really our motto, is that there's no drama. It's all supportive atmosphere. It's all, you know, community. You know, I wanted to tell you, we added some classes because of this pandemic. We have a piano for singers class that people love, that Jerry Phelps teaches, that we couldn't.
Who teaches that?
Jerry Phelps.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
He's a great singer. He's also a great musician, and he's teaching piano for singers, which we probably wouldn't be able to do in real life because we don't have like a keyboard lab. Right. So everybody's sitting at home with their piano or their keyboard. You know, we have a class called Put Your Best Face Forward, taught by Ashton Corey, who started out, he was in my first class at Marymount. And then he went on to do all kinds of stuff. And he's a great sound engineer. And he's the one that collaborated on the One Voice video with me and Holland. And he does great work. And he teaches people how to make these home videos, how to do self-taping, how to use iMovie, how to use GarageBand, how to put this together for yourself. You know, so we're really trying to expand our range of classes based on the needs of what's going on right now, you know. And those classes, even when we go back into the real world, there's a faction of these classes that we're going to keep online, like Piano for Singers, for instance.
Sure.
You know, like and I'll still probably do a class online because I've got people from all over the country taking these classes.
You can offer them the nation or globe wide. And if you want to see some wonderful performances, go to Singnasium on Stage at YouTube. You can see all sorts of incredible videos. And if you'd like to sing in an open mic, there's Singapalooza. How do they do that? Same way, you go on the website, you sign up. You can it's free. We don't charge anybody to come to the open mic. And you either, you can sign up to sing or you can just sign up to watch. And we have, on any given month, we have anywhere between 30 and 60, 70 people in the room. We'll only take like 32 singers because we don't want it to, you know, to go on forever. But people just watch. They love it. It's been great. So we have one on the 18th, which is our holiday ugly sweater end of the year contest. Oh, yeah. Everybody get their ugly sweater ready. And yeah. And we have a contest, and whoever wins gets a Singnasium denim jacket or a Singnasium messenger bag and stuff like that. And then we'll start on Thursdays. It ends up being like the third Thursday of the month, starting in January, once a month. And it's free, and anybody can sign up. You don't have to be registered in a Singnasium class to participate. And even though you don't have to pay for any of these things, you certainly don't have to pay to see this programming today, and you don't have to pay to sing at Singapalooza. However, I keep saying to people during these tough pandemic times, there is nothing wrong with giving $5. In fact, if 100 people who popped on gave $5, You know, and I know people who attend a lot of online functions, and they now, because I've said $5 is fine. You can do
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
You know, 100 people were there. If they each gave $5, that's considerable. You know, so please don't feel pulled back. You don't have to give 20 each time. Give a little bit. If you're enjoying yourself, give a little bit. And
You could give 20.
And we would give 20.
Yeah.
We've had people donate up to $250 for an open mic, you know, just because
Absolutely.
you're being lovely. But yeah, you don't have to give anything. We wanted to provide this as a service, but it's always lovely. And the same with you guys. You know, I mean, that's how you guys do what you're doing is through donations and stuff. So if they give $250 to American Songbook and $250 to Singnasium,
then we're all going to be just fine.
We'll all
And
be
we get a
just
candy bar. That's right.
that's
So,
right. Right.
Thank you so much, Lennie Watts, CEO, founder, artistic director for Singnasium, among many other wonderful things. Please check out Singnasium at www.singnasium.org. And if you have a friend who is creative, loves to perform, loves to sing, and is having a rough go during the pandemic, this is just about the best gift you can give them. Give
Absolutely.
them a class. Yeah.
I want to say congratulations to you because it's not just a great thing that you're doing, but just to the effort that you created this is just really good for you.
And
Thank
it's beautifully done. It is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Craig and I are St. Louis boys. We're both.
We didn't know each other.
We did not know each other, but we had a lot of mutual friends.
You never called. You never wrote.
I know. I didn't know you, but now I do, and I still don't.
Now we both live on the Upper West Side. Where are you now?
I'm in Hell's Kitchen. We're so close. Can I just say two quick things?
Yes, please do.
We do have Singnasium gift cards, so that you
great.
can actually buy a gift for somebody or a portion of a class. Or, you know, they start at $50 and go up to the price of a full class, which we keep reasonable online. I think the most expensive class is $350
Oh,
for
that's
6
great.
weeks, which is very reasonable. Most of them are about $300. And then also, we did a 100-person virtual choir that Carolyn was part of because she's part of our Singnasium family. And we did a version of Barry Manilow's One Voice. And it's on our YouTube page. But if you want to get an idea of like what Singnasium is and who we are and who's involved in it, our old fundraiser is up there, and also the 100-person virtual choir, which is, I don't know, I watch it and still get a little tear. It's just so cool to see all these people join together from their own rooms wherever they are. You know, it's so cool. So that's all on our YouTube channel.
Beautiful. Lennie, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you guys.
Busy we all are, even in this time when we're staying home. So happy holidays.
Yeah,
and,
you too. I'll see you in the snow. Maybe I'll catch you on 10th Avenue when I do my weekly Target run.
Wear a mask and stay safe.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Thanks. Bye. Oh man, that was so awesome. I hope I makes me want to sign up for a Singnasium class immediately.
I think it's funny that we have all these people. We always talk about what we're going to talk about and can we chat, and then we always forget not chatting is not the problem. That's not the problem.
Yeah.
Everyone has something to say.
Yeah, there's an endless amount of chatting that we can do, especially when we can't see each other on a regular basis, and it's so lovely. Our next guest is actually somebody that you introduced me to. She is fabulous. She is a sunny personality, very well known in LA as a star of stage and screen. And she has been the host of the open mic at the Gardenia for the last over a decade. I think it's been for 12 years. I love the first time I didn't know who she was because I don't live in LA. I live in New York. And she sent me all these clips of her on television and beautiful little clips of her on stage. And I thought, she's just amazing. And she is the incredible Keri Kelsey.
Hi, you guys.
Hi.
Hi. I'm good. How are you? It's nice to see the bottom of somebody's face.
Yeah. How is it in LA? Is it cold, warm?
No, I'm wearing a turtleneck because I just force it to be winter no matter what. But yeah, it's freezing for us is 55, you know.
Right. So, you're all putting on down jackets when it gets
exactly. I don't like it.
The weather here is it's warm here. People are out in shorts.
You know, I heard you say that and I was like, okay, I don't feel so bad because we haven't had any fall, no winter. We had it was cool yesterday and I was excited because I could wear tights, you know. not have to shave my legs.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So, we for a short period of time, my family lived in Texas, and I remember my mother on Christmas Day just throwing open the windows and lighting a huge fire. We're all sweating, and she's like, "I can't stand it. I can't stand this."
That's so funny. The very first show I did was the Fantastics in a dinner theater in Florida, and when I went outside and they had elves on surfboards, I said, "I need to go back to New York."
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Exactly.
We used to do the same thing, that we would light a fire in the fireplace when we first moved to Florida and then turn on our big, unit air conditioner, the big AC.
There you go. So, Keri, tell me about this. Your master classes and workshops were happening in real time. I'm just going to show one with fabulous Dori Amarillo.
Yes.
And they were happening in real time because I have all these terrific photos.
Yeah, there's Jane Monheit in the back there.
There's Jane Monheit after teaching a jazz
Exactly.
workshop.
A master class. Yeah.
Yep. And I've also got some wonderful photos of your master teachers. Tell us about who you've got teaching some of these virtual workshops now.
Well, this actually started because I was sitting there every Tuesday, and we got a lot of people that were just walking down the street and wanted to sing.
Yeah.
And I realized they don't know anything about the genre of cabaret, and which was mostly what we were doing, obviously, at the Gardenia. They also, I would sit there and think, gosh, if I could just talk to them about how to talk to the musicians, that would be a big help. Or move the mic stand out of the way, all of those things, because on Tuesday nights, I could do that. I could crawl up there and move the mic stand for them. So I just thought, there's kind of a need for this, and it will make Tuesday nights more pleasant for me too, if they know how to speak to the pianist. And so I started a workshop, a complete cabaret workshop. And then I realized I have these amazing musicians. I mean, we have the best musicians in Los Angeles that come and play for us on Tuesday nights. And it's exciting for people to come up, but they only get to sing one song. So I thought, how can I offer more time with people like Mike Farrell, who plays for Idol, like Dori Amarillo, and like all of my amazing people. I had Josh Nelson, and the workshop that I did with Jane Monheit and Josh Nelson started because we can claim Jane Monheit now. She moved to the West Coast, so right. I was taking some classes from her, which I was so excited to find out that I could do, and I mentioned that Josh Nelson was playing for us, and she said, "Oh, I keep hearing about him. I'd love to work with him." So I thought, I can put that together. Yeah. So we offered a masterclass with the two of them together, and it was so exciting to hear them sing together for the first time. And so I did this series, Musical Masters, and I would bring in 4 musical masters, like Dori Amarillo, great guitarist, producer, studio owner, Michael Orland, who's been working on Idol since the beginning of Idol, and it's still on Idol.
Just so people who don't know, American Idol he's the.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, he's the musical voice person for American Idol on TV, right?
Yes, exactly. And many other of the shows, and he teaches privately as well. But I thought I can offer, a few minutes with him. Tamir Hendelman, who is a fabulous jazz pianist, and Todd Schroeder, who plays for anybody and everybody. Mm-hmm. And I wanted it to be really eclectic. Like Tamir is pure jazz. Todd's a little bit of everything. Michael writes country music, and so it kind of ran the gamut. Dori would be Brazilian and jazz. So I just wanted to offer things like that. The only thing I've been doing virtually until recently is working with people individually on performances from my time as a literary agent. I'm not a voice teacher. I'm not a vocal technician. I'm none of that. I'm just a performance person. Mm-hmm. And I like to work with something close to your heart, Carolyn, patter. Yeah. I love patter. When I first started doing this, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to talk about? And then and how does this patter work? And what do I say? And now the singing just gets in the way of my patter.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And you see so many wonderful, wonderful performers who absolutely freeze up and change who they are the minute they have to open their mouth to speak. And it's really an interesting phenomenon, and one that you can lead a lot of people by the hand right out of that and being themselves and finding their truth on stage. So let's talk about this. Are your workshops mostly one-offs? Are they a one afternoon type thing, or is it something that people could sign up for as on on an ongoing basis?
It varies. Generally, it is, if it's a master class, it's usually a 1 day. The musical masters was 4 weeks because we had 4 musical masters.
Right.
The workshop that I hope to be doing again, but we need to be able to be socializing in person again, is the in the studio with Dory workshop, which
Right.
kind of was born out of a class that I did, Perfecting Your Performance workshop with Mike Farrell,
Right.
who has toured with, do you guys know Mike Farrell out there?
I do, but
I know. Yeah.
He's toured with Alanis Morissette and Morrissey, and and he's the most humble, sweet guy, and he also works with Michael Orland on Idol. And so we were giving a class, and people requested an advanced class where they could have work with a trio. So we did that, and then Michael said, "Why? They're already rehearsed. The band's already practiced because they're playing with us at the performance. Why don't we go in and record it?" So we did that. We went to Dory's studio, and then people loved that. And then I realized recording is something I know nothing about. I would love to know more about it. I bet everybody else would too. So we offered this class where Dory did an arrangement for you on the spot. He rehearsed. He got as he would say, the cats down. Yeah. I can't use that word and get away with it.
Right.
He got the musicians, the really fabulous musicians, brought them in, and people recorded and left knowing what a producer does, what a recording engineer does, what mastering is, left knowing all of this, and with a recording that they could use and a video.
But I have to say, what is not being said that is so true is that it's, no matter what anyone thinks, going into the studio, which is something that I love more than anything. Not more. Do
you really?
But I love being in a studio. But it is, no matter who you are, at first, it's really intimidating. Because you really don't understand. So you're just like throwing yourself into this. So to be able to have that experience is a whole different, that's just a wonderful thing to give to people.
Yeah.
Someone, I said, it seems so permanent. And then someone said to me, but yeah, you can fix it. And I went, oh,
exactly. I mean,
because when you're live, it's gone and you think people have forgotten about it if you made a mistake. But I never occurred to me, oh, that's true. I thought it had to be like perfect because they're recording it right then,
And when you're dealing with somebody who does record a lot, I mean, I remember when I made a recording with John Weber, the wonderful music director and pianist, jazz pianist, and he sat there honestly during listening to we'd replay something, and he'd listen so carefully, and he was incredibly picayune about tiny little things. Stop. That's flat. That's this, that's that. I clammed that. And he would change it right there really easily. And the more they record, the better they are at recording. And it's the same thing for singers.
It's amazing to me the things that like Dory would pick up on, and the things that producers and people that do this, the things they hear, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You get used to it. That's part of doing it. And the more you do it, the more your ear becomes attuned to those things too. I remember the first time I was in a studio where I felt like I was being a little diva-ish when I said to somebody, I don't know, the strings seem a little too hot, but
you had strings?
But I was so impressed that I could hear it, which is that's a learning curve. It's a learning curve.
Keri, let's talk about what you're planning for the new year. Where can we direct people? It looks to me like the best way to get hold of you is at your email address.
My email address, yes, and or Instagram or Facebook is fine.
Okay.
I'm good at checking those.
Email is, and I can't imagine why, Dizzy Talk.
That's it.
DizzyTalk@gmail. Dizzy Talk.
Yeah, that has a triple meaning.
Dizzy blonde. Now, see, during the pandemic time, I am not a blonde anymore, but I could be Dizzy Talk too.
Well, that has 3 meanings actually. I have a Meniere's disease, which causes vertigo. I also am a dizzy blonde, and I can talk until you're dizzy. So all of it. By the way, you taught me a new word. I'm going to go look up recidivism.
Oh,
what is that? I wrote it down. I'm like,
people who keep coming back to the same situation.
That's right. I posted the word kerfuffle today, and 2 people got in touch with me and said, "What in the heck is a kerfuffle?" And I'm like, "Look it up. It's a word, and I'm 142 years old."
Kerfuffle, I get. And we have weird Southern expressions, like we'll say, "It scared the Pewaddin out of me."
I've never heard
like
that.
nobody, and I thought it was a common expression, and I actually had to do a little research on it. And apparently, when you used to load a gun, the stuff that they put in with the, they padded it in was called the wad-in. So it comes out and you scare somebody. It's like
you take a girl out of Kentucky, but you can't take Kentucky out of a girl.
That's amazing. So you can find her at dizzytalk@gmail.com, but you can also, you should follow her so that you can see what classes she's offering on Instagram at Keri Kelsey 1. And that's Keri. You can see it right here on the screen. And Keri Kelsey is also on Facebook. So the class offerings are going to happen. And as they come up, you can find her on all of those social media.
And I have one in January, actually, on patter, because it terrifies people. I call it practical patter. And there's a lot of little tricks that I've learned through the years that can help people with their patter. It's terrifying to people. It scares people. It's one of my favorite things to work on. And sometimes it's just a matter of rearranging. You have to write your own because it's got to be your voice. But I can help you punch it up. I can, help you rewrite it. And I can also teach you tricks of working on patter and making it a little bit easier. So I'm doing that on the 21st. And I would like to say, because I love this organization and I love cabaret scenes, we thank goodness for cabaret scenes, because when they dropped cabaret out of, Times, what's that magazine you guys have? Time Out. We have it here.
Yeah.
We just don't have as many, newsstands. When it's so important, and I love cabaret scenes. So if people donate anything at all to your organization, I will give them a 15% discount. And it's my workshop's happening January 24th. I'll do a couple of them, but January 21st, it's a Thursday.
Excellent. You heard that right here on Sunday Sessions, that Keri Kelsey will give you a 15% discount. It's a patter class on the 21st. You must take it. Patter is so important, unless you plan to just sing through your whole program, which
which can be done. But
that's right. That's right. But if you have something to say, you maybe ought to take this class. And what else do you think might be on the horizon in terms of classes? Do you have anything that you're talking to people about? Or Dory is so great that I would love to take a class with Dory.
Yes, I do. And Dory's been offering classes as well. He did one on something about the cat scatting or something. I can't remember what it was called exactly. And he did Sing It, Don't Wing It, because he's very, much a jazz musician and very big on doing things perfectly. And I will always promote those classes. So when he's doing one, I'll let you know too. I definitely want to get back in the studio. One thing that people have been asking me about, and I've been trying to figure out a way to do it virtually, and I think it actually might be easier to do it virtually, is after I do the patter class, I want to take people from beginning to end with their complete show. Song choices, writing the patter, order, musicians, all of that stuff. And when they leave the class, I want them to have a completed one-woman show. Whether it's because even if you're a jazz singer, even if you do a heavily sung show, which is very much sort of the jazz genre, rock, folk singers. I was brought in with a panel. Karen Morrow was on there. We went to the Musicians Institute because this man called us and said, I am so tired of hearing people say, I wrote this song in my bathtub, or I wrote this song here. And he's like, please help these rock musicians. And there we were with like the rock, folk, indie, kids going, this is how a good way to set up a song. Here's and try this. And I like nothing better than hearing how somebody decided to write a song. I love songwriter shows, where they talk about that, but it can't just be, I wrote this song this morning,
Yeah, I think people get in the way too. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No.
In the way. I've been a doctor. I never know how to publicize it, but I've been a doctor on several shows, and I love that idea of doctor helping people. I only want people to be wonderful. And so when I go to a show and I can see that they're getting in their own way with what they're doing, whether it's the wrong song or whether it's the patter or whatever it might be, so that help them edit it down so they can be the best who they are. I think that's a great service to give to people. I don't know, Dr. Kelsey for work, but that's.
I was going to say Dr. Craig, though. I like that. And I have to say, I've seen every show that you've done here, just about and I know Carolyn is known for her patter, but also, Craig, you have the most relaxed wonderful patter. I learned something without realizing I'm learning something, and you're hilarious. And you always have a really good interaction with your musical director, which is always fun. You know, it's a good way to include them, and it's delightful.
Everybody needs to know, you know, when you do one of these shows, if you go to a show and it's absolutely marvelous and you're engaged from beginning to end, the amount of work that goes into a show, you might have, if you have somebody that's absolutely brilliant at selling you whatever song they're singing, they're a good actor, their voice is doing justice to the song. Notice that I didn't say they have a good voice. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I totally agree.
Yeah. If they are selling that song and then they finish it and you're at the edge of your seat and they say, my next song was written by Cole Porter, and the air goes out of the room, you know, and everybody, and you think one thinks to oneself, oh, honey, you just need to take a class in how to set up a song and what to, because really you're just wanting to get back to doing what you do so well, which is
fear. I think what people forget is the patter shouldn't be fearful because it's just to get you to the next element.
Right.
You know, and if you think it that way, then it's a little easier, I think, than like I have to have a joke here to get to the next. It's not about.
Oh yeah, no.
You're creating an art that's.
Absolutely, and it just as important as what to say is what not to say.
Well, yeah,
and if you learn those rules about don't ever say this or don't ever say, like my next song is, or and you don't have to have a lot of it. You can do 2 or 3 songs in a row without saying anything if you're not comfortable with that yet. It's not a requirement to have a ton of it.
And if there's nothing to say, there's nothing to say. I mean, if you have nothing to say, then people will see it if you try to say something there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's some pat sort of tricks that if they do need something to say, this is always safe. This, you know, do this. It doesn't have to be, like you said, it doesn't, if you're not a funny person, don't try to be a funny person. Be who you are. We want to know who you are.
I find that spinning plates between numbers is a very, I'm going to teach a spinning plates class. You know,
that's what we're doing in our head anyway, right? The lyrics, the music, the audience.
That's why you don't have any China.
Exactly. All right. So, Keri, you are always delightful. And I want our audience to reach out to you at dizzytalk@gmail or through Instagram at Keri Kelsey 1 at Instagram or Keri Kelsey on Facebook and look at what classes she has to offer. She will
come to the open mic.
That's right. And come to the open mic. The open
every
mic.
Tuesday.
Yes. That's right.
I absolutely love. I have talked about you, Carolyn. I found you so fascinating, and Craig, you know I love you, and I'm just always so happy to see you. And this was so much fun to do it again. But I would love to see you guys on Zoom. Anybody that wants to come join us on Tuesdays, it's our lifeline.
In January, my life gets a little bit less nuts, and by a little bit, I mean a little bit. But I'm going to come. I'm going to come definitely.
Good. I would love that.
Absolutely. I would love to have you again. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful holiday. I think we're all going to go through a few months of some hairy stuff before we come up and out of this pandemic. So I wish you good health, and thank you. The ASA. Thank you.
Same to you. Thank you guys so much.
Love to you. Take care.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well,
I'm sorry. I just love her.
Yeah, no, she's terrific. She's terrific. Her hair is just
amazing. I know.
Amazing hair. Thank you, everyone, for being here with Craig and with me. And I cannot tell you how much I encourage you to go to Singnasium. And as I said, I have thought to myself, there are plenty of people in my life that are really, really missing their life behind a microphone, or have been sitting at home thinking about all the things they wish they could be doing or the things that are passing them by. I haven't sung in 15 years. Well, I've got something for you, you know? So really think about it. And
there's no, Sarah Rice, I think I said this once before, Sarah Rice had once said that there's no age, that wasn't how she said it, there's no age discrimination on singing in cabaret.
No.
So you should definitely, you're not too old to try anything. That's what you should know, and you should go out and do it while you can.
Do it. That's right. Craig, thank you so much for joining me today. It's always so much fun to hang out with you.
Before we go, I want to tell everyone, if you have a chance, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is free, and it helps us get a little more visibility, which is what we all want. So, and any donation is greatly appreciated. And thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Craig.
See you later, Carolyn.
Bye. Thanks so much. This is Carolyn Montgomery signing off for the ASA. We appreciate your being here, and we'll see you next time. Bye.